Hello and welcome to my first movie review, or TV show review. We're gonna see how this series goes, so I'm just gonna kind of start with doing this, and we'll see how it takes off. I guess you see what I decide to make. So today I'll be talking about the Peacemaker show, a show I just recently finished and that I think is amazing. To be honest, a complete banger. I went hog wild for that shit. The music, the soundtrack, beautiful. But before we even talk about the soundtrack, I want to talk about the excellent characters we got going on. So, the, and I want to preface, there's going to be spoilers in this video. This is a spoilery video. Anyway, the story is about the Peacemaker, obviously. You might have seen him in other roles, such as the Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad 2. The actual Peacemaker in the show is played by John Cena, which you might get iffy about, but honestly, he did such a good job. Really funny guy. Um, he's really quirky too, and they really play it up, and I love it. He, alongside himself, that was an awful sentence, but him alongside other superheroes and a team that is sent in with him to do a mission, all have a really good dynamic. So some of these people include a person controlled by a moth and stuck inside someone's head, kind of like a doppelganger situation, is one of his teammates, as well as a few other random humans who aren't super important, and a little psychopath named Vigilante. And I gotta say, Vigilante is my favorite character on this whole show. At one point, he's literally trying to talk to John Cena about how he has to kill people, right? And he literally says, and I kid you not, that you shouldn't feel bad about killing people because, you know, when you really squeeze the life out of people's eyes and their eyes pop out, it makes you feel great. And that was his chew up talk. He was explaining how good Moto feels. At least he's motoing the bad people, I guess. But anyway, uh, the cast is really cool. The villains in this were pretty interesting. The villains were basically similar to the one person on Peacemaker side, who's a Mothman, is basically a whole army of these moths that came from space to habitat this planet, all like taking over everyone's bodies and doing evil stuff or whatever, right? And it's really bad because they're like killing people by taking over their bodies. Anyway, villains are fantastic, and on top of that villain, we have the Peacemaker's dad, the extremely racist White Dragon, right? And the White Dragon's basically just a Nazi who made all of Peacemaker's shiny little helmets, and it's really, really funny to see him do stuff. One of the helmets, in fact, he gives the Peacemaker, well, lets him have, I suppose, is the scabies helmet. You put on the helmet, and it gives you scabies. So, down to the yield kind of vibe. The setting is kind of funny. It's basically like small town, trailer park, white trash kind of vibe, which is kind of cool because like you're seeing these superheroes like running around doing like superhero stuff, and they're at a trailer park. Right? Like it's not like the Avengers were in New York fighting these like aliens and like destroying the city. No, they're just in like some forest in Iowa or something crazy, which is really kind of funny in hindsight to see. And as for like motivations of the characters, they're just goofy as hell, but it's fantastic. So like the one human that's on the Peacemaker side, her whole motivation is she just wants to get paid, which I think it's insane how her motivation is to get paid, but she decides to do the one job where she'll probably likely die. And then like the Peacemaker's motivation, and he states this many times, is to find peace through any means possible. And then he, throughout the show, proceeds to like challenge this idea and stuff. And then there's like the vigilante, the Peacemaker's hero fund, who again, still just a model, don't really know what his motivation is other than to always be locking man, right? And that brings us into like the soundtrack. The soundtrack in this, so good. We got so many good old hail bands. We got Wigwam, the Poodles. You probably have never heard of these, but let me tell you, when they're doing these action scenes and you hear these hail bands come on, playing the like nastiest riffs you've ever heard, oh boy, the scenes they it adds to them. Let me tell you, it really adds to them. And the conclusion of the show is amazing. Not to get like too spoiler heavy, even though I already said there'd be lots of spoilers, but the way it ends, where they all have to come together and fight the boss, is really funny because they're all just like not very good at it, but like, goddamn, do they try? And like, and they gotta, and it's funny seeing other people than the Peacemaker use the helmets because like the helmets are so big on them because John Cena's just like a beast of a man, but like honestly couldn't recommend it enough. So like if we really consider all this, I'd definitely give it at least a 8, maybe 8.5 on my meter, and I'd really recommend you all watching it because it's just amazing. Also, I know the show came out a while ago, but I only recently watched it, so that's why I'm talking about it. And I really hope this is a good review for you. Thank you.